All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first official episode of the Late Night with Martini and Tequila podcast. My name is Martin, and I am
My
joined
name is
today.
Kim. Hi, guys.
Kim, I was supposed to do the end. I was supposed to
Wait.
introduce us.
Oh.
Not
Oh,
too late. We're starting this. People are gonna hear it. Kim
I
just
don't
came in.
remember you said that to me.
Oh my, Kim, this is how it goes. There's supposed to be someone who introduces it. I'm kidding. Nobody cares, Kim. It's just a podcast. We're here to talk about it, all right? So decided to go with the title, Late Out with Martini and Tequila podcast. Call it the Martini and Tequila podcast, the MTP, for short. How does that sound, Kim? Do you like that?
Sounds really good, actually. MTP.
MTP? I know I figured go big or go home. Pick a really cool title. And also I met this awesome artist on Instagram, and I asked if she could do the art for the podcast. So she was able to do the art for this podcast, and it was quite awesome. As you can see, there's a martini and a tequila with a moon.
Oh, I have another idea. What about Martini and Tequila podcast and MATPOD, Mat Pod? No, sorry.
Why
Throw
are you?
away the
No,
brain.
oh my god, no! It was a good attempt, but it was quite long. Well, I don't know. Kim, it doesn't really matter because it's the beginning, so we can change this anything later. All right, it doesn't really matter. But first of all, I finally got Kim to sit down and do the artwork. Yeah, she was the mysterious artist that I've been on Instagram, so she's the one who did it. So everybody, be grateful. Thank Kim for the artwork. And yeah, we've been kind of doing some of these back and forth originally with the other podcasts that I had. That to be honest, I wasn't really following through with it. It was mainly more of a therapeutic kind of podcast for myself, where I can just go and unload all the useless information that I had in my head. You know, and don't
And
let
then
look.
listen to it after.
Mhm.
So are you telling me you're that vain?
No, I would. I actually never listened to it. You know who did listen? I have a cousin who used to actually listen to it.
Ooh.
Yeah. Um, he, which I actually planned. He's the one that I told you that I want to start a second podcast with.
Mm.
But with him, it's gonna be it's like all that pothead stuff, you know. So,
That always sounds really fun. Oh,
uh,
yeah, and you told me that you asked me to create, not asked, I actually volunteered if I'm allowed to create the cover for that podcast
okay.
too.
Anybody who heard that, you heard the word aloud. All right. I don't do not. All right. Don't
Oh, I'm sorry.
misunderstand here.
It's the way I speak. I'm very sorry. As you can tell, I do have an accent.
Why?
I
Wait.
use words
Wait.
differently.
All right, this is going into a bit of a shit show. All right, I'm kidding. Now, what I'm trying to say is this, though. But yeah, she was nice enough to, because I was talking to her about it. All jokes aside, she was nice enough to offer her services and draw the artwork for the next podcast for us. So, but we haven't even started. That's a long way. I talked about it with him, talk about it with you, and we know the situation as to why I'll be doing that. I won't really
Mhm.
get into that, but that's maybe sometime in the future. But to be honest, I think well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But first of all, we're doing this one. How are we, Kim? How are we promoting something else that doesn't exist instead of actually sticking to this podcast?
Well, if you want to stick at this podcast, we have to explain to them why are we creating this podcast.
To be
What's the
honest, I don't know.
purpose?
Just
Oh,
to talk to shit, to shoot the shit, Kim. To shoot the shit. Meaning, we're just gonna be talking shit. Because first of all, I am an avid YouTube watcher, like 99% of this world.
I
You know.
agree.
Okay, Kim, you don't have to, put me down like that. All right. But I watch YouTube a lot, and I watch the most random shit ever. And Kim, she likes to. Well, what do you like to do, Kim?
I used to spend my time with myself, and then I met you. Now I spend my time in YouTube watching too.
Okay. Mine, no, actually, okay. Sure, YouTube, we watch a bunch of like dumb videos, but what I did get her hooked on is the UFC, which I'm very proud to
Oh,
say.
yes, UFC. I
I got
love
Kim
UFC.
hooked on UFC. What is your favorite? It doesn't matter if I mean, if you remember names, that's awesome. But if you don't, that's cool. What is your favorite fight so far that you've seen out of all? I'm pretty sure be able to know it if you describe it.
Ricky.
Ricky.
Mhm.
Okay, so Ricky is
Lightweight? No, featherweight, I think, yes.
yeah, I think he was 145. I believe he was 145. He was in the Ultimate Fighter, and
Mm.
then they had their finals recently, and I was not expecting because I didn't watch the Ultimate Fighter. Everybody thought it was a joke because we didn't get Jorge Masvidal versus Colby Covington. That's a whole different thing, kid. But that would have been epic. A lot of shit talking, a lot of trash talk, and then the big fight at the end would have been amazing. But it didn't happen. Money, Street Jesus didn't want to fight, Mr. Donald Trump's protege himself. So, oh yeah, I'll show you some YouTube videos, Kip, and I'll show you who these
And
people
we're
are.
back to YouTube videos.
But the Ricky fight, I forgot who he fought, but he fought the other finalist from the Tough,
Mhm.
and we watched the fight. And it was freaking impressive. Like the first of all, the pace. The other guy, poor guy, I forgot his name, but he was very impressive too. Like it takes two to tango, So
Both of
oh
them
my,
gave a good bite, yeah.
yeah, they came to fight both, and it was really really cool. And but Ricky's like that hippie guy who like just happens to like be able to kick your ass. Like before hippies were like peace of love and just shoo hippie shoo, but now apparently hippies are out here fucking choking people to death and shit. Punching them. He was impressive. He was so mobile, like
I
nimble.
love
Right?
the fact that, after the game, he decided to do karaoke. I like that.
I forgot what song he did for karaoke, but they had to block it because if those lyrics would have even just hit anywhere like YouTube or any of that stuff, they would have had to pay God knows how much money for the
Oh,
yeah. But I mean, I guess for me recently the fights. I mean, I first of all loved the whole show, all the fights in general. I mean, yeah, some suck, but most of the time I've learned to really love it. Um, but the fight that recently, and I think you kind of know that it's a fighter that I recently got obsessed with, which is Patty the Baddie
ooh.
Piblet. Oof. He is quite the character. Maybe because he's fucking crazy, but he's like happy, you know.
Like, when he was in the ring, it was different expression.
Yeah, do you remember that shit? His like eyes are just like
No soul.
no, but remember when they were interviewing him, like
Mhm.
after, and he just starts laughing at the guy who was just like, I almost knocked him out. And, like he's like laughing fucking weird and shit. Yeah, that was my attempt at laughing, right? And which tells you otherwise. Just go fuck yourself. But
Oh, you haven't heard him. You haven't heard the real
I
laugh of
sound
Ricky.
I sound like I'm like losing air, like like that. Like that's how I sound. There you go. You just heard a kid laugh. All right. But okay. By the way, let's might as well. We won't get into super super like deep into some of these topics, but let's get
Mhm.
into a topic that I just thought about it right now because I mentioned made you laugh, which was like uh what was that thing about the guys? The difference between like oh no, that post you sent me on Instagram, which is like this is why women live longer than guys.
Oh, that video.
All right, so explain it, Kim. Mind explaining it?
Oh,
She's laughing because she knows, like, Jesus Christ. I think Kim's recently
I
been
can't
learning, like,
explain. I can't explain it. You have to. I can't.
no,
It's
no,
just too funny.
no, Kim, you have to explain it. You're the
I
one who
don't
said it. You have to explain it.
I don't know what the game called because I never experienced playing that
It
game.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just go over the gist of the video.
Well, they were playing
A
that
sport, whatever sport it is, they were playing it.
yeah, and he got hurt, on his jewels. I don't know what he called it.
Okay, go on.
And yeah, that is why women live longer than men because they have the tendency to do purpose specific things like that specific sport. They literally sit on that, what do you call that? I don't know what it's called that, but they sit on that thing and then they put the hole literally on their junk and they shooting each other some heavy rock
Like,
thingy.
Kip, let me tell you something. All right, let me add to that argument. First of all, anybody who's listening, I'm pretty sure you've heard this argument all the time. I'm pretty sure you've had this argument all the time, but it's true. The reason women live longer than men is because men do stupid shit. You know, just
Yeah, basically.
straight up, we just do stupid shit. Here's a little story. All right, when I used to go to my high school, Mission Bay High. Oh Lord, Mission Bay High School. Right, I was in freshman year, ninth grade. This was around '09 because the '09 wars. So this was around 2009 to 2010, and we had a woodshop class. So we were there to like,
Oh no. Oh
yeah. So we had a woodshop class, and it was full. It was just guys. It
Oh
was just guys. I think that they put in. I remember that there was like one or two girls in there around
no.
our age, but they got out. Like, okay, this is like the fucking sausage fest, and there's too much testosterone going on here, and all everybody fucking people butting heads and shit. And they got out, and we never saw them again. So it was just fun. It was a bunch of assholes there, like a bunch of assholes in there, including me. But it just, just a bunch of fucking guys just doing stupid shit, and we would do dumb shit, like dumb shit. We didn't really care, and mind you, there was so many tools that were dangerous there. Like
Yeah, it's so rude.
there was like
It's so
table saws, like then more saws, and then more
oh
saws, and then more. Yeah, that shit was dangerous. I mean, there was one time where I was cutting like a piece of wood to use it to make a box,
no. Mm.
and then that piece of wood got jammed, and it started shaking. It pulled me in, and I let it go, and then pulled the wood. The table saw pulled the wood in, and then like because there was no pressure on it, it started to shake, and then it launched, and it flew and it hit the window. If I didn't let
What?
it go, it would have fucking cut my fingers off. Yeah.
Jeez.
The crazy shit happened, and they told me a couple stories. Or there was this one kid who he was sanding. There was an electric sander,
Mm.
and or shaver. I don't know what it was. A shaver. I think it was a shaver or something. Well, this guy like he pushed too hard, and I guess the wood broke. I don't know what exactly happened, but so much so that he put so much pressure. But like when that thing broke, like the pressure, when you're pushing towards something, and then that thing's not moving, all of a sudden it moves, and then you launch towards that direction.
Oh
His
no.
hands launched that direction, and I believe his right hand, the bottom two fingers, just sliced off.
Jeez.
This was in high school during a couple of years before that. So crazy shit has happened there before, but that still didn't stop us. All right, we do. We used to do
Yeah,
some.
I'm surprised they still open that class even though with a lot of accidents that kept happening.
Let me tell you something. That year was the last year that they had woodshop class, and they
Did
changed it.
something horrible happen?
No, no, actually no. But I
Mm.
think I don't know. Maybe they just thought it was too dangerous. How school's getting softer and softer. Yeah, I said it. School's getting softer and softer. So they're like, all right, let's remove woodshop. And lab kid. They changed it into an engineering class after, or
Oh
architect class or
no.
something like that. So that's where I took uh some engineering, I believe, and then they put a bunch of computers in there, and we used to like 3D model stuff. And I remember
Mhm.
I had a teacher called Mr. Borlangi. He was pretty cool. He was pretty chill. He was like that your typical California guy. Grew up wearing Vans, and like he was awesome. Oh, uh, think of him as Keanu Reeves.
Whoa.
He was like the school's
He's
Keanu
a
Reeves.
he's a Matrix guy.
Yeah, he was like his vibe was just chill, you know. Like, he was really
Mm.
cool. He was that kind of type. But regardless, going back to the thing, the stupid shit. I know I'm taking long as time to tell the story, but first of all, we had this like what the hell is it called, like not the airbrush, but like it was like this air pressure thing to blow air to like remove dust, because there was a lot of fucking
Oh.
sawdust there. So or like wood dust or whatever it is. There was a lot of it. So we would blow that off, especially off our clothes as we were cutting. We would have school clothes.
Whistleblower.
Yeah, and so what these motherfuckers did, and I didn't participate in this because even then I was like, man, this is fucking stupid. I'm not playing this shit. So they created these little things. These guys used to do pipes, like wood pipes for weed, and then they would sell them to people, and they would like design them and customize them, and it was very cheap. They would grab any piece of wood and they could do it, so they didn't really have to pay for it. So they would make profits. You know, people always trying to make money in school and shit, and so they did that. But they figured out that they could put that like if they made the hole, they had tools that they made the hole perfectly fit the air nozzle thing or whatever. So they would put it there and it would blow air, but they would make it like a thin hole inside, so the air
Mm.
would come out like pressure, like with strong pressure. So they do that and they would put it on that, and then they would put nail like nails, um, or not nails, like what are they called? Yeah, not nails, screws, I guess. But like the things you,
Syntax.
yeah, well, whatever, pointy stuff,
Mm.
you know.
Yeah.
And they would put it in there, and then they would just like, they would press it because it has like this little thing where you would press it and it would, because there was so much pressure because it was a small hole, it would just launch the thing and people were poking themselves in the butt with that shit.
What? Jeez.
And then another thing that people used to do is that table saw. And this is the one that I'm surprised nobody ever got hurt. So people would, and they didn't do this shit to me, thank God. But they, you know, like I told you, the table saw, they would put the piece of wood, but people would run and like turn off the machine while people were cutting the wood.
What the heck?
So yeah, and the thing is, you would think that doesn't do anything, but because it would abruptly stop it, like that thing would sometimes would like launch it, or like it would pull people in, and people like going stuff. So yeah, I mean, even though because it doesn't stop instantly, it takes a while
Mm.
for the saw to stop. Like takes a couple seconds. So if you didn't let it go right away, it would just, you know, you could lose a finger. It was dangerous shit, but people didn't give a fuck. I mean,
And
I
they
don't-
call it as fun.
yeah, people laugh because nobody got hurt, so it was pretty funny, you know.
But if someone's hurt, then it's not funny.
I mean, I still
Of
would have been
course
laughing as long as it's not me.
not. Okay. Wow. Very adventurous. I mean, I never experienced high school, you know, in first world country, you could say. I
First
came
world country.
I came in Canada like and I started college already. And so when it comes to Philippines, when it comes to high school, it's very much your typical Asian high school, you could say. You know, uniforms, very strict, and we don't have that cool classes. We usually have just cooking classes and things like that. But yeah, thank God for my safe class, my safe high school life, I guess. That is too scary for me. But it sounds boring, but I prefer that than getting killed in the wood class, you know.
Honestly, as I grow older, I realize how stupid all that shit is, and then I want a boring life now. You know, I'm working on getting a boring life where I just gotta paint robots. You know, go to work,
Ah,
and that's it. Paint
just make
robots,
sure
go to
you
work.
don't have debt and things like that.
Yeah. Well, I have to. I have to remove it. I have debts, you know, I gotta pay them. I gotta get rid of them. So, I mean, I'm not ashamed of it. It's not like anybody that I know doesn't have debts. Well, you don't have debts.
No, I don't.
There you go, see? But I guess here, well, because here in the States, it's kinda bullshit.
Mm.
The way I know, conspiracy theory Martin, you know, "Fuck the government," you know, I'm that guy, you know? USA number 1. I'm Mexican as fuck, but I bleed red, white, and blue. Can't speak Spanish for shit, you know? But, nah, I can speak Spanish, but, you know,
And
people can
he's really
tell.
good at it.
Yeah, but real Mexicans can tell, like, yeah, this motherfucker's from, like, he's north of the border. He ain't from south of the border, you know? They call me gringo, and I'm like, "Oh, and I'm dark as fuck." He's like, "Yeah, gringo, go away." But, regardless, um, wait, what was I talking about? I don't even know. I was talking shit. I started talking shit.
You talking about government.
Oh yes, fuck the government. You know the way they like do young kids dirty here. It's kind of bad. And first, I want to say this for the loans. They didn't put a gun in my head, so I decided to take that loan. All right, I decided to take that loan, so I'm gonna pay for it. That's it. Pretty straightforward, you know. And anybody who says otherwise, sorry, you signed the dotted line. You know, you accepted that, knowing the consequences, knowing what it can cost you, but you wanted your degree in like sociology. I don't know where the hell that's gonna get you, but more power to you, buddy. Coffee, it's good. But it's kind
Yeah,
of dirty because
yeah.
they okay, Kim. What are you drinking? You're not drinking coffee?
I'm drinking water.
Oh my god. Kim's like on her healthy mode right now. Well, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna move away from that government point. I don't want to get involved. God knows somebody's listening to this is gonna like, you know, clip it or do some weird shit, and there, I'm gonna end up in like a Ben Shapiro show or something like that. Like I don't need that shit right now. So
Don't. Our main goal for this podcast, if we're gonna go back to our podcast, late night martini. We haven't explained to them why we call it martini and tequila, by the way.
all right. So my name is Martin. Well, it's a nickname, but let's not get into the technical stuff. My name is Martin, and Kim, his last name is.
Tequila.
There you go. Straightforward.
Mm.
So it's late night because we plan on recording this at night. Why not? Because
Mm-hmm.
we usually end up having like these deep conversations or random conversations, whatever they are, usually at night. So I suggested that we should record that. Spend like an hour or so, just kind of record that and stuff and talk because I like talking all that like just about random shit. And we usually get into either deep conversations or pretty fun conversations. And I figured, all right, if we record that, I figured Jesus Christ, I think I just said I figured like 5 times. If we record that, it's gonna be like pretty fun stuff. So, and we'll have people that we know that will probably want to listen to it because they're probably like, "What do you guys talk about so much? Since you guys talk all the fucking time." Well, this
Yeah.
is what I talk about. But
Yeah.
one topic that I do want to bring up is dun
Oh,
dun dun. Ready? Ready,
already.
kill?
Mm-hmm.
Please, please, please tell us the story of the ghost. Dun dun dun.
The recent experience that I had.
Yes.
You want me to tell that story?
Yes.
I. Oh, by the way, he came back.
No. Okay. 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 Tell the first one. Tell the first one, and then we're going to the second one. Okay.
All right. Well, the first experience that I had with him was I'm a light sleeper. I think I pronounce one word with
Don't
two
worry.
two
Doesn't
different
matter.
meanings.
Doesn't matter, Kim. Go on.
So like I said, I'm a light sleeper, and I have the tendency to feel my surroundings while I sleep. And in that moment, I slept around midnight, and my body woke up around close to 3, between 2 and 3. And my eyes are closed, I'm still sleeping, but I felt my room. I felt, just the space around my body, and that's where I encounter the big guy. I don't know him. I usually experience supernatural things with my family, with my relatives. But this time it's very different because I don't know this man. He's a I felt I felt him. I can describe my feeling when it comes to him, but I can't see him. All I know is that he's a foggy guy. It's like a foggy, like a shadow who got close to me and embraced me. He literally embraced me. He Not in a sexual way or anything at all. It's like he acted like one of my grandpas, but I felt that I don't know him, you know?
Okay.
I don't really know this guy. That's the thing. That's why I keep enhancing that word. I don't know him because, like I said, I always experience things from people that I know, like something related to my life. And in any way I couldn't find any connection from him. But he seems to know me so much. He embraced me, he gave me a hug, he pat my head. He's not too tall, I know that for sure. Um, well, technically, when it comes to like when it comes to describing height, I usually think of the person that I know who's very tall, and I know for a fact that Martini is very tall, and so I always compare your height to everyone that I know because I seen people who's 6 feet, and so I always compare your height to people now, and he's you're taller than him. I know that for sure. And he stayed there. He just stayed there hugging me. I wanted to cry because I felt how emotional he is to me. He knows me so much. He I felt like he was proud to me. And I wanted to open my eyes, but I'm scared that if I open it, I'm gonna scare him off. So I decided to pretend to sleep. I just pretended that I'm sleeping, but I can hear him like it's a windy sound, like when it comes to I don't static. Yeah, there you go. Static sounds static and windy. He closes face to mine. He's really close to me. He kissed my forehead. He pat my head, and he gave me a really long embrace. Like he gave me a long warm hug, and I wanted to cry because I don't understand why you're giving this to me, but I felt it. Like you're very sensitive. Like you're very passionate. Who are you? You know. And then that disappeared. And now this just recently happened
Ooh, when?
this morning. And
No.
the thing is, it's very short experience. At this time, he's leaving. That's how I felt. Like, I'm not too sure I'm gonna felt him again, but this time I felt like he's gonna leave. But he embraced me back again. He did the same thing that he did to me last time. Um, I never really noticed the time when he visited me, but it's still close to and I couldn't tell because I finishing my assignment on that time, but around midnight or close to that. But he decided to come back and he embraced me again. But before that, I woke up again suddenly. Before he came, my body woke up again, but my eyes are still closed. I still felt my presence, around me, and the only presence that I felt was him, the dark shadow. And he gave me such a long embrace that I felt like I will never experience it again. It's like he's saying goodbye to me. That's how I describe it. And after he disappeared, I opened my eyes and I wanted to cry. I felt like I now on that moment I still don't know him, but I felt like the one that got away kind of feeling. I don't know who's that guy is, but I can describe him around 60 to 70 years old, in mid 60. Um I felt I felt like a grandpa that I never had, but I met my both of my grandpas, and I I can tell that that's not them, you know.
Hmm.
So I'm very curious of what's that all, but
Well,
maybe because I was thinking maybe because I'm just literally just sleeping paralysis. What do you call it?
sleep paralysis.
Yeah, that word. I was thinking maybe it's just that, you know. Maybe I haven't touched other people, like I haven't have any skinship to anyone. All I could do is just beg my sister to give me a hug, but that's it, you know. But maybe I'm just um asking for skinship. Maybe I just wanted someone to hug me or something. Maybe that's why my brain just became loopy and gave me a weird dream. But that was very clear. I felt him, but I never seen him. I just felt the shadow. A static windy sound too, but yeah.
Ooh.
Or I'm going crazy. Either way, I like the experience.
No, I think we're already crazy, Kim. You don't have to worry about going crazy. We're already
Right.
like past that point. But no, I mean that's interesting. And yeah, I want to ask you. I didn't even know about the second time, so it's interesting to say that you feel like he's just kind of leave, and whatever it was, it's quite the experience. So I was like, all right, that would be quite the opener to start it. You want to know a sleep paralysis story that happened to me the first time? The second time, every time it's happened to me a few times after, but now I know sleep paralysis. But the first time is probably the most terrifying thing that's ever happened to me in my fucking life. One time the first time it ever happened with sleep paralysis, I woke up and I opened my eyes, but my whole body was shut, and then you feel like a pressure, like you're getting your chest pushed down to your bed, and it
Mhm.
felt like that. I was like, holy! My mind right away, I was like, oh Lord, this is a fucking ghost. I was like, please. I was sitting there praying in my head. I'm like, oh fuck, please forgive me. Oh Lord Jesus Christ, like I'm that guy, right? And then like I'm slowly starting to move, and I'm finally able to move, and I just pick up, like stand up, run out. And at the time, I used to live with my grandma. Right now, I'm running with my grandma, and I was just like, grandma, 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 because my grandma's like the religious person. I was like, grandma, grandma, grandma. This shit just fucking happened. Yeah, it's just fucking creepy. He's like, all right, let's pray. We're all sitting there praying. I'm sitting there fucking praying like there's no tomorrow, right? And then you do your research, aka your YouTube research. You start
Mhm.
YouTubing all that shit, and of course, because when you want to do research, very good research, you go to YouTube because no one's gonna lie to you there. And so I go there, start looking up all these videos, and I'm like, oh, it's sleep paralysis. I'm like, all right. And then the next time, I I remember that shit happened. Uh, it was a couple months later or something like that. It happened, and I woke up, but I was like, uh, I couldn't be bothered with it. If that makes sense. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I remember saying, Jesus Christ. And I'm moving my hand. I'm like, move your fucking body. Ah! And then, like, I literally did that. Like, that exact sound. And then I was able to move. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. I'm like, this is crazy. And this happened a few times after, too. But I realized that it's sleep paralysis. So, like, I just, like, get mad every time. And I just, like, try to move my body. Like, I really, really, like, force it. And I can't even talk. I'm like, I can't move anything. But then like I like start to try to push and move, like kind of wake up my body, and then I've waken
Mhm.
up. So I've done that. But the first time it was like the most terrifying shit because it felt like a fucking ghost. But it ended up being sleep paralysis because I've had that experience a few times after, but I'm not scared. It's like, gee, come on, body, wake the fuck up. Like this, I hate this feeling. Wake the fuck up. Because it's just like the feeling like you're just there, your mind's there, but like you can't move your body. It just feels like it feels nasty. Because then when you wake up, your body feels like numb. Like I don't know how to explain it. It feels like there's no blood circulating around your body. So I just like start moving, and then I start getting like blood flowing through my body. But sleep paralysis is fucking crazy, especially if you've never experienced it before. You experience it for the first time. It's wild. Do you think it's a ghost?
I experienced it a lot too, but every time that happened to me, I always think of the movie Kill Bill, and I always focus on you know, my my fingers. And if I can move it, that means that I can move my body, and that's where I just bounce back from it. Ever since I watched that movie, I was able to solve my sleep paralysis.
Kill Bill's
Just
cool. I mean, it's a cool movie though.
it was. Oh my god. The I'm in love with it. What's your favorite scene? My favorite scene was in the restaurant with
The Japanese one.
the yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite too. Like when they got like all the like what are they called? Like all those ninja dudes or something like that with the mask. And then she's
Yeah,
wearing the yellow tracksuit.
wait, do you technically call them yakuza? So
Yeah, the Yakuza, I believe. I believe it's the Yakuza. Because it is
mm,
Japanese setting. I mean it's also been a while. I love the movie, but it's been a while since I watched it because it's a pretty long movie.
mm,
But
mhm.
But yeah, I believe it's a yakuza uh, because of the way they were dressed.
Yeah,
But
they wear a suit and they're holding the the short sword. What else? A mask. My favorite scene was he, she was fighting the schoolgirl. That was a really cool fight scene.
yeah, I like that. I like that scene as well. Kill Bill overall is pretty cool too. You know what scene I don't like though? It just
What?
takes me out of the movie, and I know that it's a lot of people's favorite scene, but it's when she does like uh, that finger thing where she talks to like it explodes the heart. She like hits the chest a few times, and then she like punches it, and then the guy
Um,
is like walking away, and then his heart like explodes. I, I've always hate because I hate those types of moves. Like I hate them. Like I don't know
why?
why. I don't know. I've never liked them when it's like when they like punch you, poke you, or something like that, and then like 5 minutes later your heart explodes. Even in anime, which I'm a fucking anime like degenerate. You know, I love anime.
Yes, he
Or
is.
actually, let me fix that. As I grow older, I like more specific anime.
No, he's
Super
still degenerate.
robots.
He's still degenerate.
Oh, sis, missus, the hentai over here. But
Dude, don't call me out like that, bro. Jesus. I mean, yes, I do like hentai. I mean,
I'm
as
kidding.
an anime lover, I already accepted the fact that everyone who's an anime lover also watch even one
You know what's the
day
crazy
of their life
you wanna
hentai.
hear another story that I've had? So, I
With
remember one
hentai,
time.
I'm much more interested if it's related to hentai.
Yes, it's
Okay,
hentai.
good.
So, we used to have a homie called Twinkie. Twinkie, if you ever listen to this, yeah, whatever. So, one time we went over to his house and sleep sometimes rarely because my mom didn't want me sleeping over at his house, but not even going, but, I would go there and we'd play Xbox 360 from time to time. Oh, no, 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 I take that back. No, no, that's a whole different story. Twinkie
Oh,
showed me
wow.
some other
You're
shit, yeah.
about to tell me
But
something.
shit, but that's a whole different. I'm talking about with my cousin. We would sleep
Mhm.
over with my cousin, and I remember one time. This is when like DVD players were not like common.
Exists. Oh,
No, they existed, but they weren't like common. They were like the ones you only had one, and it was in the living room because it was
Martini,
expensive.
you're that old.
Oh yes, stop it. By the way, I'm about to be 29 in like what a couple days, but that's
Ooh.
yeah. But regardless, so there was a DVD. I remember one time there
Mhm,
was a burnt DVD, and we kind of stole it from my uncle because the
mhm,
DVD had something like Afro. It was called like Afro or something like that. And we're like,
mhm.
what is that? And we knew it was porn. And I remember we tried to watch it, but we never got to watch it. Like we took it out to the living room and we put it on the DVD player, but like I said, we heard someone started to come out. So we're all right, dip, we dipped, we went into the room. And then we came out the next day because we couldn't go out anymore. We came out the next day and the DVD wasn't there anymore.
Oh my gosh.
So I think
That's
my
so
uncle figured out that he was like, these motherfuckers are trying to watch porn. And then he pulled the thing and all right, here's my fucking CD and took it. I won't say what uncle. I won't say it. I'll keep it just in case people listen to it. I won't say who it
the
was.
question is, do you think they still have the copy of it?
Nah, they don't. They
Oh,
moved
do you wanna
away.
know my first Santa experience?
Okay, go shoot.
So, I had a neighbor who likes playing video games and also an anime lover. And he was like a you could say I was in high school and he was like in university in that time, and he hadn't been playing a lot. So he gave his collection of it was PlayStation, the first one, and he gave it to us like, oh, I have been playing a lot, so here's a collection of CDs and here's a collection of the games and stuff like that. And that's where I encountered my very first hentai that I will never forget. I was so excited on this too because it was a freaking Sailor Moon and a Dragon Ball Z
Hentai.
hentai.
All right. So okay. I'm pretty sure for those who are listening, uh hentai is practically anime, animated cartoon porn. It's just that's what it is. But
Yeah,
that's
but
what it
that's
practically
much
is.
better than a rip.
Okay, okay, okay. Clearly you could tell. I'm just kidding. But What was my first hentai? I don't remember because I know it came when
You
I mean,
watched too much
I didn't mean
hentai.
it that way. All right. Well, hentai. I remember the first hentai. I believe the first time I watched it, but I don't remember which one. No, I don't remember which one was it because I watched it at the internet. It was when I first got internet. You know what happens with the fucking kid? You know who's like
Wait,
hormones
did
are
you
kicking
have
in.
your own computer, like, in your room?
No, but I had a PSP. So
And
okay, let me
oh,
explain.
wow.
This is like nerd stuff, right? So when I got a PSP, when the PSPs first came out, think about it as like a Nintendo handheld, Nintendo Game Boy. But like, I
Mhm,
mean, people know what it is. PlayStation Portable. So it was supposed to be PlayStation, but anywhere you can take it and play it. And they usually carry like these it's called UMDs or like mini CDs and put it. It was pretty cool. Looking back, it was really one of the coolest consoles. PlayStation kind of messed up and they didn't have much security on it. So people learned how to hack it. So
mm.
they hacked it and people started creating apps on it. Think of it as apps, but they were like, yeah, applications, apps. And this was just when the iPhones were starting to come out, so it was like all these app stuff. So I hacked my PSP because the thing you can do is if you can actually play games, you can download the games, put them on a memory card, and then use it on the PSP. So like, I didn't have money, but I wanted to play all the PSP games, so and all of that, you're able to play old school games like the Game Boy Advance and the PlayStation 1 and play them all on the PSP.
Mhm.
So that's what I did. I hacked it and then I would put all the emulators in there and do that. So I used to play all those old video games in there and like all this, like PlayStation 1 games. That's where I play most of them, most of the RPGs there. But it also had apps. And I remember that there was this application that could let you run YouTube like Flash because the PSP didn't have Flash. But if you put that app in there, which was like after hacking it, you can watch YouTube. And it was like a shitty version. It was like very shitty, but it worked. And I was able to watch YouTube. And I remember I would just love watching YouTube. But the thing is, if you press the button select, it wasn't only YouTube, it had a lot of websites in there, like YouTube, Daily Motion, things like that, right? So one day I was just kind of exploring and I was just kind of going through them, and then I remember seeing this website called X Video, and I was
Oh,
like,
the
I was
legendary website.
I was 15. I was 15 around that, 14, 15, and I believe this was before I entered high school,
Mhm.
or it was just starting, whatever. But that's where I discovered it, and then I'm like, "Ooh, what is this?" And I remember I put in because I really didn't know what the hell X Video was, really didn't know. At that time, I had a laptop and I would just play World of Warcraft on it. I was that kid, and then I used the laptop to like download all the games and put them into my PSP. I was that kid. I didn't really watch porn or any of that shit. And then I clicked X Video and I started looking up the stuff that I would look up on YouTube, anime stuff, video game stuff, and then that's where I started seeing all that crazy. I was like, what is this? And then one thing led to another, and all of a sudden, I became a degenerate. But that's not the point. The point is, I'm kidding, but it was thanks to PSP, the PlayStation
So,
Portable.
do you remember the very first, hentai you watched?
I don't because at first I didn't know it was like this can sound weird, but I really mean it when I say I didn't know it because the animes that I had watched like pretty adult type anime, not hentai, but adult type. I'd watched already like really dark movies and stuff, dark anime.
Mhm.
So I thought that was normal. Like those movies would show like boobs and stuff. Like I remember the first anime that I ever watched, and no, this was you can think of it as the second anime I ever watched. The first
Mhm.
anime movie I ever watched, and which was Akira.
Oh, right.
And I mean, the boobs are showed there. There's a scene
Mhm.
where this girl gets like her shirt gets ripped off, and like it shows like her boobs, and it's fucking wild stuff, like crazy, crazy drugs and all that shit. And I thought that was part of anime. So when I saw X video, I saw that. But then I'm like, wait, I started noticing that a lot of those videos, it didn't take me that long, within a day or two, I was like, wait, I think this is porn, because I know what porn was, but I never really looked into it. My gateway to porn was anime. you know. So because that led to hentai, and after hentai, I started looking like, oh, what about this? And I started, looking and like searching, and I, started finding all this crazy shit, and hentai leads to actual porn, and I was then that kind of opened. So I was watching fucking porn videos on a PSP, like as a 50-year-old kid. But I think that's a perfect time to end it. We're gonna go ahead and end it on
Already,
that. Oh hell yeah!
you make the audience excited, and now we're just gonna end it that way.
Oh, I know more ways than one.
They're probably curious, like, what do you mean by porn with Sailor Moon and Dragon Balls? We can talk
I
about
mean,
that the
yeah,
next
we'll talk about that next time. We'll
Don't
plan it out,
worry,
but
don't
don't
worry.
worry. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But we're gonna go ahead and end it there with the PSP. This is quite the episode, actually. Quite the introduction episode.
Yeah, we
Just
never planned this. I mean, we like that's the thing. It takes a long time for us to talk is because we like asking questions a
yeah,
lot.
the truth, like this is literally what we were talking about. We were kind of getting into it, but we're gonna go ahead and do that. We're gonna go ahead and end it here. And once again, thank you for listening to the Late Night with Martini and Tequila podcast. I'm turning around to read the title because I can't really remember it yet, even though I came up with it. But that's just at that point. But yes, thank you for listening
Thank you so
again.
much.
Once again, she's Kim. I'm
Hello.
Martin,
Hi.
and goodbye.
Martini. Goodbye.
Bye bye.